All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Planet Creative Podcast. Today we got a brewer from Poughkeepsie, New York, Matt Stew. Go ahead, tell him what you do.
Hey, I'm Matt Stew from Poughkeepsie, New York. I'm not a full-time brewer, actually.
Okay, so what's your position?
I'm a cellerman. Whenever I say that to people, they think it's sales, but cellar as in like C-E-L-L-A-R. Pretty much what a cellerman does is like babysits the beer, like in a way. So like a typical day for me would be, I'd go in, monitor fermentation, add dry hops to all of our beers, sanitize tanks, transfer beers into bright tanks, which is the final tank before packaging. That's where things get carbonated and such. And it's really a lot of cleaning. In the entire process of like making beer, everything has to be completely sanitized because one little like microscopic germ or bacteria can ruin an entire batch of beer, and you can't package that. Can't obviously sell that. It would like completely ruin your brand. Yeah, so a lot of opening levers, closing levers, juicing up the bombs, stuff like that. Yeah, the nectar gets squeezed fresh every day. I think in like a typical day, we'll can like 38,000 cans of Juice Bomb, and then in a week.
So that's your main beer. That's like the one that everybody wants.
Juice Bomb keeps the lights on, pretty much. Then we do like stuff like Nelson Bomb or like Citra Bomb, which is like pretty similar to Juice Bomb, but it just accents one particular like hop. So, and like hops will give beers like fruity flavors. Pick up on like melon, orange, I don't know, any kind of like tropical fruit really you can get out of hops, which I think is a lot of people don't realize. Like I find that a lot of people say they don't like hoppy beers, and that's probably when they were drinking like West Coast style IPAs, which isn't like what we do at all. We do New England style. West Coast IPAs tend to be like more on the bitter side, like more piney, more resiny, whereas these are really smooth. There's no bitterness to it at all, and it's just it's like a juice bomb, really. Like when we pour this, it's just gonna look like a glass of orange juice. There's like no clarity through it at all.
Yeah, so something cool we're about to do on this episode is Matt actually brought a bunch of beers from Sloop Brewery, and we're just gonna drink them while we do the podcast and tell you guys what we think.
Yeah, nothing better.
So what's the first one up?
Oh, dude, of course it's a juice bomb. Are you kidding me? A delicious New England American hop saturated IPA. Nothing quite like it, eh? Look at that. Look at that beaut. Just polish it off.
You want to pour it for me?
Oh, of course, King.
I'm actually excited. I've never had Juice Bomb before.
Which I don't know how you've lived like in like our area. Well, I mean, you don't.
Yeah, I've been gone for a while now.
Still, like it's been around for so long. This was my first like IPA that I like ever drank that I enjoyed. Like when I first turned 21, and now I'm working there, which is pretty cool. But cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Getting big melon on the nose, eh?
Yeah, no, that's really good. I've never had it before.
I cannot believe that. It's like I feel I can't go anywhere without seeing it on like a tap list or like go into like I don't know, what do you call it in Connecticut, package stores or something?
Package store. Something I never heard of until I came here.
You can't get beer or like liquor at like a gas station here,
no,
right?
And if you do, they charge you out the ass. Like they raise the price. Like one time we wanted to keep drinking and we ran out of beer and we had to go to the gas station by our apartment, and we got like a 6-pack of Coronas, and they charged the person who bought it like $30.
Oh, that's good.
It was like 1 a.m. He was like, yeah, no, $30.
Yeah, they just make up prices. They just man, I hate that. I hate price gouging.
So you said like you guys package what was it, 38,000 cans of this?
Yeah, that's like a very rough estimate. It's in that ballpark.
Is that a lot for a brewery? Like, how do you guys handle all that?
I mean, we can't like compare ourselves to something like an Anheuser-Busch company, like
right,
like what Budweiser and Bud Light and Coors, and what they do is just like completely out of control. Like, well, not out of control, obviously, because like there's a market for it, but on like a craft level, from like some of like the craft breweries I visited like before and now like after working at Sloop, the our production scale is like the size of our like tanks and how many tanks we have compared to other breweries is just like like we are just like far ahead of all these other breweries. And I'm not
like craft breweries,
yeah, and
right?
I'm not saying that in like we're like so much better, which I mean obviously we have a great product, but the demand for our product is just so much higher than most craft breweries in the area.
Right. No,
And,
that's something I've definitely noticed.
I mean yeah.
You don't even got to say nothing more about it.
Yeah,
It's just better.
yeah.
The demand's bigger.
Mhm.
I mean, talking about demand, we were talking last night before you came, just to kind of get everything together. You had said that somebody drove 8 hours to Sloop for the beer. Is that a common occurrence? Do you see that happening a lot?
Well, I mean, now that like the tap room's closed, well, tap room's not closed, but I have like no reason to, like be in there, so I don't like see like customers as much as I normally did. But yeah, every now and then you'll see some people. I know this one couple like came like 8 hours away to like load up on Sloop beer, and they took a whole like a dolly or a hand truck and got like I don't know like 10 cases of beer and loaded up the trunk and went back to wherever they came from. I think they came from like Virginia or something.
Yeah,
like
8
that.
hours. I was gonna say they had to come from somewhere
Yeah,
down south.
I'm not even sure like how they would like even know about our stuff. I don't think we distribute to Virginia yet, so 'cause that's the power of social media.
Yeah, social media, or like you never know, like gone on vacation, family friend or something like that from up in New York. They brought it down and they were like, "Fuck, we got to get our hands on
Yeah,
this." Because I know my dad has driven to breweries,
I've
a
done
couple
it too,
hours
yeah.
away before just for some beer. Like,
Yeah,
especially now, the craft beer game in the past
Kinda
like 5 years is just blown up.
Yeah, the only thing I don't know how like long this like craft beer boom can really last because everyone's making like a very very similar product and more people are like getting like their hands in the game. Like this, I think this is obviously like a standout IPA. It's delicious, but also our brand is so strong and just the name Juice Bomb sells. Like Juice Bomb sounds like something you want to drink. Even people that aren't necessarily like into craft beer, they'll try Juice Bomb because the name Juice Bomb sounds like,
Right.
delicious. Yeah.
So, you just said that you don't know how much longer, these craft beer or breweries can keep popping up and how much longer it can keep going. What do you think is going to change in the next couple of years that's going to allow, major players or newcomers to like stay in the game? If everybody's making a similar product, what's going to be the thing that's like, okay, I want to go to that brewery? Is it going to be location, the way it's set up, like, I don't know, you got a bocce ball court at your brewery so everyone wants to come? Like,
Yeah, that's like definitely like a lore. Like our brew, we've got like indoor backyard games. Like at our I mean, I don't think they've got it out now because of
the giant Jenga blocks and stuff.
yeah, they got all that kind of stuff. But I think like right now you're seeing like I call it like the haze craze. Everyone wants to make hazy IPAs because that's what sells, and obviously they taste really good. But I find that, and it's not just me that says this. Pretty much everyone like within like the industry, there's nothing wrong. Like we don't dislike these beers. It's just like eating the same meal over and over again. Like I'll eat my mom's spaghetti and meatballs happily every day, but after a while, like it just kind of gets repetitive and boring. You want something different, and that's kind of like what's happening with like serious like craft beer drinkers. But I'm not sure like how into like craft beer or anything you are, but within like probably the last 2 years is a crazy push for fruited sours. So brewers and breweries will just start brewing like a normal sour beer and then just pump like thousands of pounds of like fruit puree into like these tanks. And when you pour the beer out after it's like done fermenting, it's just like a bright red beer. It's like, and it tastes like juice, like actual. It tastes like ocean spray, like cran raspberry. It's crazy. So that's like another thing that I think it's already like in full swing, but I think it's going to continue to grow a little bit more. People want like fruitier beverages, especially like people that like aren't necessarily into beer. That's like their first like interaction with a craft beer, some crazy fruited sour that like tastes like dessert almost. That's gonna like get them hooked. But then I think in maybe a couple more years, and this is all just me speculating, I have no idea
Right.
But I think you're gonna see like a shift back towards like pilsners and stuff, and just like very clean, crisp, refreshing beers. Nothing like not a whole lot of flavor, just something like you can drink, have a couple of, and not feel bloated, and not feel like shit the next morning. Because you know, after a couple of these, there's like it's like pretty sweet. So if you have too many of these, the next morning fucking sucks. I've been there.
So do you think new styles of beer will emerge to differentiate from these breweries? Like, I mean, I don't know if pretty much every beer has already been made, but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean. There are certain styles that are just like I mean, like the alt beer. Alt beer is like the Dusseldorf style alt beer. It's like a really difficult beer to make. And it's really not like popular in America at all. It's like obviously really like, I don't know if it's that popular over in like Europe, but it's more prevalent there than it is here. You can't find that beer around here, and I think that's mainly because people don't want it. But and then also it's like really difficult to make and more time consuming, whereas an IPA, you know, you can turn it over in like 2 weeks. I feel like I'm just going on a tangent now.
Go ahead. That's why you're here. You're here to talk. They don't want to hear me. They want to hear everybody I bring on.
Yeah, I don't know if like anyone's gonna create a new style of beer. Like, I mean, I guess you could. I mean, there's like pretty much like the possibilities are endless when it comes to like beer and like using yeast and grain and such. But I don't, you might see like more like, I don't know, like the alt beers like come in to like fruition like in America. Like I said, like with the pilsners and
so
stuff.
more so like beers that are big in other countries might make their way over here.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna be because people are just tired of drinking the same thing.
So go ahead.
Oh wow, dude, James. No, yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that like beers, I don't know really how beer even works like that, but so do people in other countries drink our beers? Like if you go to another country, are you gonna find like a Budweiser or a Bud Light, or is that like a solely American thing? Like is the craft beer game an American thing, or is it like a worldwide?
I think it's I'm gonna assume it's worldwide. I really couldn't tell you, obviously. I've never like been out to Europe or anything.
Okay.
But I know we did just send like a pallet of our beers to France.
Okay.
So we
That's
got
big.
beer in France right now. Well, I mean, it's probably gone now, but I think it is like just a universal thing. I don't know like if the IPA is like popular over there. But when it comes to like Budweiser and stuff, I'm pretty sure you can find Budweiser and all those like big like macro American breweries just about anywhere. You know, it's like you find like Guinness over here all the time and stuff.
Right.
What's that? Heineken. So I'm gonna assume like all that Budweiser and Bud Light is over there. But if I'm over in Europe, I probably don't want to.
Yeah, nah. If you go to Europe, don't drink a Budweiser. Everybody listening, watching, if you go to Europe and you drink a Budweiser, don't do that. That's not okay.
Drink a Guinness.
Yeah,
drink a Guinness.
or just drink a beer from the area. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I remember going there when I was a kid, and look, I couldn't drink back then, but my parents going to all these wineries and breweries and like the mountains of Germany, and it was just amazing to see. I mean, if you're somewhere like that, don't drink Budweiser.
or do it. You know, I'm not like a. I don't mean to. I feel like I look and sound pretentious talking about this stuff, but I'm not above a good ice cold Miller Lite.
No, there's nothing wrong with
gladly
it.
drink.
There's nothing wrong with those beers. I'm just saying, if you're in another country, like try something different.
The like the beer of choice, if like my like coworkers and I are gonna like get beers to like drink, we're generally going Modelo, to be honest.
Okay.
We love Modelo.
Okay.
There's just something I don't know. It's just light, refreshing, crisp. It's cheap.
So I was gonna say, if you had to choose a cheap beer, let's take Modelo out of it. But like, say you got like Budweiser, PBR, Heineken, Coors, Michelob. What are you taking, and why?
I feel like I can't say PBR because it's like really pretentious. 'Cause that's like what all the hipsters drink, but it is a really good beer.
It is a good beer.
So I'm gonna eliminate that, even though it is really good. I would I'd say I'd go Tecate. You know,
See, I
Tecate?
don't even know what that is.
It's
Oh
that-
wait, no, I do know what
It's
that
like
is.
the
I
red
do
and
know.
black
What, yeah,
cans,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's a Mexican.
It's got like a little
lager.
bird type
Yeah,
thing on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I love.
I've never had that.
The first time I had it was when I was in LA at a Rams game, and there was this guy sitting next to me with a tall boy at Tecate, and he had this I think it's like Tiajin, I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm probably butchering it. But it's like this like Hispanic spice that he was just pouring all over like the rim of his beer, and I was staring at him, and he looked at me and he was like, "You want some?" I was like, "Fuck yeah." And I poured it on my Tecate, and yeah, it's kind of just been like love ever since, you know.
Solid story. So before before we kill this, what is this one now? So we had the Juice Bomb.
That we had Juice Bomb. This is Juicier Bomb.
So what's different?
Juice Bomb comes in at 6.5%. This bad boy comes in at 8%. We took a look at the Juice Bomb recipe and decided that people needed more, so we just doubled it. So there's just obviously more alcohol, but it's mainly just more hops, pretty much.
Okay.
We doubled the hops.
So it's like double IPA.
Yeah, and just think of Juice Bomb, but a little juicier.
All right, sounds good.
Cheers, my king. A little boozier, I can like pick up on that a little bit, but
Not as like sweet or juicy, I guess, in a sense. Like you taste the hops come through more in this one.
yeah,
for sure.
very like all that citrusy kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you like Juice Bomb, you'll like this. I
Yeah, no,
guess.
it's definitely not bad. I mean, so far everything we've tried is good. And also every time, I haven't lived in Poughkeepsie in about 3-4 years now, but every time people are talking about the breweries in the area, it's always Sloop. That's the main one I'm always hearing is Sloop. So definitely make a good product. If you're in the area, definitely check them out.
Yeah, check Sloop out. Not only do we have great beer, but we have a Michelin-starred chef, which is, he absolutely kills it. Got this crazy Forza Forni pizza oven. I don't know how hot.
So explain what is that for the people who don't know? What is a
Forza Forni?
Yeah.
It's just a brand of a pizza oven, but it's like this really nice like brick oven, like pizza oven that
like the wood fire and everything.
I think you can get it wood fired. I think ours is just gas, but
Okay.
it's if you like Neapolitan style, artisanal style pizza, that's like the cream of the crop there. Like they do a fucking awesome job. Like that. If I'm getting pizza, I would rather have like which I feel like I sound pretentious as fuck again, but I'd rather have a like pizza like that than like one of that the New York like folding slice kind of.
Yeah. See, yeah, you keep saying that you sound pretentious, but here's the thing: like liking good beer, good food, good whatever. That's not pretentious. What's pretentious is when, when we were talking about like Budweiser, PBR, all those before. If you were to be like, nah, fuck all those. I don't drink that. I only drink craft beer. That's pretentious. You're not pretentious for liking good shit, man.
No, absolutely.
Because you
not.
still respect even like the Budweiser or the PBRs or the
Everything has its
Tecate,
place,
like
too, I'm not gonna.
Because this is so different though. Like a craft beer is so different from like anything like a Budweiser, PBR, any of those.
And it's all like about setting too. I feel like I don't know. Like if you're going out to, if you're like a junior in college and you're going out to like a pregame, like odds are you're not ripping like double IPAs.
No,
Like,
no, that'd
like,
be horrible.
No, that would suck, and you feel like shit like really fast. Yes,
Shotgun a double IPA. Like
I mean,
it'd
you
be
can
horrible.
do it. Just
you
would
can
probably hurt.
Yeah.
I can't chug it all. I can't get this throat open. Bottom line.
Jesus Christ. So going back to like the food at Sloop and all that, how does that play in to getting people in the door? Do you find people? I mean, I know you may not necessarily be on like the floor in that area, but do people come in specifically for the food sometimes, and not even people who drink beer? Because there's a lot of people obviously out there who just don't drink beer.
Yeah. I think so, because sometimes when I'll be walking through like the tasting room for whatever reason, I'll see people just drinking like a soda with their food, or like wine. We have wine.
Do you guys make that wine?
No. That would be awesome. I wish, because I've been on like a wine kick recently. Nothing like a good Chianti, you know what I'm saying?
I don't drink wine, so I don't even know what the
get
hell
on
that
it, dude.
means.
Get on it. Maybe I'll get a job at like a vineyard or something, and I'll come back on.
Fuck
But
it.
I think people do come strictly for the food. A lot of, well, I mean, majority of the people probably come for both, mainly the beer, but the food is like nothing to be slept on. Like I would gladly go there and just have a bowl of dan noodles, and that's it.
Yeah, that's the cool thing that I think about Sloop too, is it's not like your menu is like one style of food. Like you got pizza, you got dan noodles.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys got like, I don't know, burgers, something like that.
Yeah, we got burgers. And I think all of our burgers come with like Sloop Juice Bomb pickles.
Ooh.
They put some, I don't know exactly how they do it, obviously, but I think they just soak dill pickles in Juice Bomb.
Wow.
But yeah, then like falafel bowls, a lot of like vegetarian options and
Damn,
stuff.
so you
too.
guys are hitting all the angles with the food as well.
It's a very small menu. It's like just one page, which I always appreciated. In a restaurant. I don't want to flip through. I don't want to feel like I'm at like the fucking Eveready diner.
No, you know you're at a good restaurant when the menu is just one page.
Mm-hmm. And,
you know, you got the one page for food, you flip the menu around, you got the wine and beer.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know you're at a good restaurant.
That's how it should be too. Like, 'cause I feel like that's a sign that like whoever's like cooking your food, that's like what they enjoy making.
Exactly.
And that's what they're really good at. So they're not trying to like branch out and do like crazy shit just because.
Yeah, and the other thing that worries me when I see a menu with tons of shit on it is, like, if you go to a diner and you see like a filet mignon, how many people are getting a filet mignon at the diner? How old is that meat? Like, that's my thing. How old is that diner meat?
That doesn't even bother me. The age of the meat it just bothers me that a diner is trusting their cooks to make a fucking filet mignon. It's ridiculous. Just stick to the pancakes. Stick to the disco fries.
Exactly.
No one wants
poutine.
Yeah, like, even that's kind of like crazy. I feel, but yeah, I've seen people order that I've been with them order like a chicken parmesan at a diner. That's fucked up.
Especially being in New York State where we're from, there's a fucking Italian restaurant every
corner,
on every corner, like you said.
Say,
like, just go there.
Let me take you out to the Eveready and get you a nice skirt steak.
Shout out to Eveready Diner in Hyde Park though. They make some fire stuff. Pancakes,
they
fire. Disco fries, fire. Milkshakes, fire. Can't
Good
really
stuff.
fuck up a milkshake, but
I can't speak on behalf of their steaks. I've never had them.
no,
but,
neither can I.
I'll stick to the buffalo chicken wrap. Even that is like, I feel like at a diner, I feel like diners should strictly be for breakfast food.
Yes.
Anything else should be illegal.
Okay, I see that. I see the point. I see the points being
Breakfast. Yeah, that's it.
So, what got you into this whole craft beer thing? You know, obviously, I've known you for a long time. At one point, me and you were talking about brewing a beer with my dad because my dad makes
Big
beer
J's
in our
IPA.
basement. Yeah, Big J's IPA. Shout out Jay Burkhardt.
Yeah, good guy. Well, when I was in college, I didn't really like. I mean, I went to a real school, but I feel like I didn't at the same time because all 4 years of my schooling, I commuted, and 2 of those years were commuting to New York City. And I loaded my schedule up, so I was just there like Tuesday, Thursdays. So I didn't want to make that commute every single day. So with that being said, I was there from like sunrise to sunset. Didn't have time to really like go out and socialize and stuff with people. So I had to like kind of find a hobby. And once I turned 21, you naturally like go out and have like your first legal drink. I had this awesome like German like Hefeweizen that like kind of just got me hooked into like beer. Started just reading about beer and stuff, and ended up getting like really interested in like the whole process of like just creating beer, like the hops and all that nerdy stuff. But that's pretty much how I got into it because I had to find a hobby because I wasn't really doing anything. There's like no option like join a frat.
Yeah.
Which I probably
and in our area, there's tons of, especially now, like the past 2-3 years, breweries have popped up like fucking weeds in Poughkeepsie.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it is crazy.
You can't go anywhere without finding a brewery at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, so what were you originally studying in school?
So I was at Baruch College in Manhattan studying marketing and advertising. That's what I thought I wanted to do until like I got into like the bulk of the coursework and realized like what my everyday life would look like if I continue to like pursue that as a career. And I didn't want to just be another fucking like suit in an office, like a slave. And like I at that point in time, I considered myself like a pretty creative person. So I thought like, oh, I'm going to be like making crazy advertisements, doing whatever I want, blah, blah, blah. But then I realized, no, like you can like try to create what you want, but at the end of the day, someone's telling you yay or nay, and nope, just do this.
Or stealing your shit.
Yeah. So there's like
we madmen fucked our head up when it came
a little bit,
it came to marketing and advertising.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's fucking cool.
We were like, oh, we're gonna be just like Don Draper.
Yeah, you know, maybe without the infidelity, but you know.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah. So I obviously I knew it wouldn't be like that, just a TV show, but like I did think there was like a lot of room for creativity and stuff like that. But then I realized, you really can't like be creative unless you're freelancing. So, I remember like this one specific night I was typing up some like corporate communications like research paper, and sitting there I was like, I will fucking kill myself if this is like what ends up being my life, like doing this. So, and at that point in time I was like really into like brewing and like home brewing, all that stuff. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna look up brewery jobs near me, because this is also the point in time where like all my friends were getting jobs, like big boy jobs, like real jobs. So I need to like find something. And I don't know why I thought, oh yeah, you know what, fuck it, let's just go for a brewery. But so I ended up just looking up brewery jobs near me, and then one of the first things that popped up was Sloop. They had no openings, but they said, yeah, like submit your resume and we'll consider you in the future or something. I was like, all right. So I send them my my resume for like advertising and marketing and stuff like that. It has nothing to do with like brewing or anything. So I got a total shot in the dark. And then I don't know, maybe I totally forgot about it. Like 3 weeks later, I'm going on the train down to like take a final, get a email from some guy saying, hey, I'm blah 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 from with Sloop. We have a position open on our packaging team right now. Would you be interested in coming in for an interview? I was like, fuck yeah, are you kidding me? This is awesome. Going for the interview, and pretty much just got the job then and there. And then that was kind of it. The scariest thing though was like knowing I'm paying all this money to get this degree in marketing and advertising, and now I know I don't want anything to do with it.
So did you complete college?
Yes.
So you got your degree?
Yeah, I got my degree. I don't physically have it though. I filled out everything for them to like ship it to me because I didn't want to go down there and like pick it up, and they never did.
That's foul. Baruch.
Yeah.
Send this man his goddamn degree.
I'm not here to talk shit about anyone, but Baruch College.
Get your shit together.
Yeah. So they want me to come down there and pick it up, which, you know, I don't care. It's a piece of paper.
I see you finish that. Let me finish mine.
Yeah. Fuck Baruch.
Let's crack this new one open. What do we got here?
We got Confliction here. This is our dry hopped sour. I'm not sure if you've ever had you've had a sour before.
Yeah. What's that monkey? Victory? Is it Victory?
Victory.
That
Golden
makes all those like
something?
monkey beers.
Yeah. I don't know the exact name, but
yeah, I've had a sour from them. They make a pretty decent sour.
This is our dry hop sour. I'm not like terribly like. I don't know too much about sours, but
So do you help make every beer, or is it just like select ones?
Yeah, any beer that's being packaged, it's got to go through like the cellar, and that's everything I do. Like sours are fun. Like we just like kind of like started our sour like program up again, and you know, adding fruit to beer is like kind of like a nightmare, but it's fun at the same time.
Is that how you get the sour flavor? Is it all from the fruit? Like, what do you do different, you know, to get that sour? Because it really is like when we say sour, like it is like not like eating a sour candy, but you do get that.
Yeah. The sour aspect is it can come from like various ways, but you're pretty much inoculating your wort, which wort is the liquid that comes from. All right, now I'm gonna get real like nerdy.
Get into
sciencey.
it. Get into it. That's why you're here.
So your wort comes from just Wort is pretty much just sugar water, and the sugar water is coming from sending hot water into this giant vat with a bunch of grain, pretty much, and the water is extracting all like the sugars from the grain, and you're like constantly spinning it to get as much sugar as possible off it, and then once you run that for I don't know, however long that specific recipe says, then you send it over to the boil kettle, and then over the boil kettle, if you want like a sour flavor to a beer, you're pretty much adding bacteria to it. You're infecting the beer on purpose. It's like all like good bacteria. It's like not harmful. Like,
yeah,
like
I hope so.
Like in some like farmhouse style beers, which is like a wild sour, you're getting like probiotics.
What do you? That's a term I've never heard.
Farmhouse style is like they're called wild ales, and it's because it's all wild fermentation. You're taking like bacteria from the leaves, the just natural bacteria.
Oh,
in the air.
okay.
Like
so, nothing's like manipulated or anything or under like a control.
It's all very like one of my favorite breweries in Poughkeepsie, Plan B Farm Brewery. When they're brewing they do all farmhouse ales. So the brewer will do the mash in, which is creating wort, and then he'll send it into this vat called like a cool ship. And the cool ship is just like think of like a giant metal like tub, an open face tub, and they'll just leave like the barn doors open like for a couple days, and they'll let all the bacterias from like the trees and the grass and whatever's floating in the air just infect the beer. That's how it ferments.
Oh.
That's gonna give it like a really funky sour taste. But this is obviously we're not doing that. This is all we're using lactobacillus,
right,
which is like pretty much
don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I said right, like I knew exactly what that meant. I couldn't even repeat that word.
This let's get you puckering a little bit.
I was gonna say that's got a bite to it.
It's I think it's like a perfect beach beer though. It's very lemony.
No, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually really fucking good. So you just mentioned, obviously you work at Sloop. We've said that. You just said one of your favorite beers in Poughkeepsie. So within the area, when it comes to all these different craft breweries, is there like a stiff competition where they're like, fuck you to the other brewery? Is there a lot of like working together? Do they hate on each other? Or is it kind of like one big family, even though they're different companies?
It's like a very very tight knit. Like there's no like, I mean, I guess there is technically like competition. Like everyone's.
But there's no
like,
animosity behind it.
Absolutely not. I mean, like I've gone to some breweries to pick up beers, and some guy was like, "Oh, why are you wearing those boots?" I was like, "Oh, I just got off my shift. I work at Sloop." He was like, "Oh, like I know the owners, like those great people, and they give me like free beer." Like it is really tight knit. I mean, there's like no real competition. Well, there's
competition in a business sense, but not in a personal sense.
Exactly.
Like fuck that guy.
No, absolutely not. Because like we're all like, it's not like rooting when it comes to like drinking beer. It's not like rooting for like a sports team where I'm not sitting here like fuck the Patriots, Jets all day.
I'm sorry.
We won't even get into that, but yeah, because we all like want to try everything. We like eating things that taste good, and we like drinking things that taste good. So like if I'm like a restaurant owner, I'm not gonna say, oh, like I won't eat anyone else's chicken parmesan,
right.
Like fuck that guy down the street. No. So yeah, I love everyone's. It's just really tight knit. I love like trying other breweries like beers. Obviously, like I'll seek out like other local breweries like that I know. If I see like Equilibrium on tap at some bar in Poughkeepsie, like I'll definitely like take a rip of that. But yeah, like even like some like breweries, like if they just recently some local brewery was like doing some last minute batch of beer, they need X amount of hops. They asked us, hey, like, do you mind, like, can we like buy some hops off you? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Oh, that's cool. So everyone kind of like works together.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's cool. That's actually really cool to hear. You don't get a lot of that in, I feel like, many industries nowadays.
Especially in business, yeah, it's all like
it's
cutthroat.
all. But I feel like brewers are, they're businessmen. Obviously, if you own your own brewery, but it's like a different type of person. No, like, what's your experience with that? You've been a business major. You've obviously met some businessmen. What's the difference between somebody who owns a brewery and like your general businessman?
I I don't feel like I can like give like an accurate or like a good answer to that, because there's like two sides of like Sloop. There's the production side and like the people in the office.
Are the people who started it, originally brewing the beer? Actually, before I ask this, how did Sloop get started? Was it a home brew or?
It was homebrew. Our two owners, Justin and Adam, they just like brewing like out of their garage, I guess, for fun, because they like doing it. I guess that's how like everyone kind of gets started. And then they started like bottling it up and selling it at farmers markets. And that kind of like blew up a little bit. Like there was like a high demand of these like weekly farmers markets for the beers. So they just, I guess, said, "Fuck it, let's take a risk. Let's quit our day jobs and open a brewery."
What were they doing before? Do you know?
I think one of our owners was a teacher.
Okay.
And another, I don't know exactly what he was doing, but they both quit their day jobs and they approached this farm in Elizaville, New York. Said, "Hey, could we like use you've got like an empty barn here. Can we use this space like for like a production facility?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So that's how Sloop really like got going. They bought all their tanks and stuff. They started brewing in Elizaville, just doing like Juicier Bomb and all kinds of stuff. And then they quickly grew out of that. They realized they need more space. So then like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, they purchased space at the old IBM facility in Fishkill. I don't know like the exact square footage of our production facility, but it's massive. And we doubled the size of our tanks. We've got, I think, like 24 total fermenters, which is, I know you don't like know exactly, but that's like fucking nuts.
No, that's a lot.
They're not
That's
just
a
like,
lot.
They're not just like small fermenters. They're 120 barrel fermenters, which that's like 120 barrel fermenter will like fill like 38,000 cans.
Jesus.
So we've got like 20.
Yeah,
20
no.
of them.
So I was at Powerhouse Gym recently, which is right next to Sloop Brewery in that same old IBM complex. And when I looked over and saw Sloop, it was huge. I mean, the whole fucking thing. It's like a giant warehouse next to giant warehouse next to giant warehouse. It's a massive facility for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love the space. They've really kept, especially in the tap room, like some of the old IBM relics. Like our water fill station is this old like hydrogen control center. I don't even know like what it is, but it's this just big IBM thing. I don't know exactly what it is, but yeah, I think it's cool that they kept like pieces of IBM like in the tap room.
That is cool.
Yeah, really dope.
Pay homage almost. So to get back into that question I had before, when you say there's like two sides of Sloop, there's the production and beer making side, and then there's obviously like the business side of it.
Yeah.
What are the owners doing? Did they hire outside business people to come in? Are they running the business themselves while managing production? Like, how does that pan out and work?
So our two owners, one owner is like in charge of more like a sales side and just operations and stuff, and one is our brewmaster. Which a brewmaster is like the most fucking badass title I think there could be, but it's a little misleading. It's not like they're not like actually like in like the production facility like brewing everything. I mean, he will like if he needs to, but he's mainly in charge of creating recipes, recipe design, which is like that's like where like the real like creative side of like beer comes in, because there's
the science behind it all.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. You're also limited by science a little bit, and something that sounds cool in your head, like when you look at the science, you're like, that would probably taste like shit. But yeah. So he is just in charge of recipe design, inventory, ordering hops, ordering grain, yeast, all that kind of stuff. And then our other owner is completely just like sales. Well, I mean, he's not doing sales, but he's operations, all kinds of stuff like that, like talking with banks, trying to like get new accounts, break into new states, stuff like that. But yeah, it almost feels like it's two completely different companies because I don't really like know the people in the office at all. Because I have no reason to really go in there.
Do they hire business people into the office, or is it people who started off with the company that are now in the office?
I think maybe a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think some people like worked with. I know at least some of our brewers were bartenders originally at Sloop in Elizaville when they were like more on the smaller side, and then when they moved over to Fishkill, they needed like all hands on deck. So they do a really good job like hiring from within. Like if they need a brewer, they're not gonna like look for a brewer.
That's
They're gonna
awesome
say, all
to
right,
hear,
like,
though. They're gonna teach someone.
yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, which like is obviously like really appreciated.
Yeah.
Like when I was originally just at the back of a packaging line, like stacking cases of beer for like 8 hours a day, and it was just like mindless work. And then like a position in the cellar opened up, and they moved me up. They gave me like good training. It was all like kind of on the fly, but like the guys I work with are really good at like explaining the process and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, it's like really nice. Cause I feel like a lot of companies don't necessarily
hire within anymore.
Yeah, when they're trying to like, especially like more vital positions. I'm not above like any position in the brewery, but like definitely like in the cellar, it's very technical. Like you could really like you could fucking like kill yourself if you like leave a lever open wrong or something like that.
It's very precise.
Yeah. Like you could definitely like have someone way more qualified than I was when I got the job. But
yeah, that's something I think that's like kind of a misconception when it comes to beer. I feel like I mean I know a lot of people who are into craft beer know this, but people who necessarily aren't, I don't think people realize like the true science behind making beer. Like even watching my dad make beer. I mean, he started making beer when we were probably freshmen or sophomores in high school.
Yeah.
And I mean, the first few beers he made, I don't want to say he fucked up, Dad. If you're listening, I'm sorry. I don't want to say he fucked him up, but I feel like some things went wrong, and he was like, "Oh, I could have done this better next time." And he would actually go to breweries and talk with the brewers and the owners of it, like, "Hey, what can I do to change this? You know, it's got this type of flavor, but I was going for this flavor. Like, what should I do?" And they'd give him advice, and like, it is very scientific and precise. Like, it's not just like you throw a bunch of hops in water and just let it fucking sit there.
Yeah, that's home brewing fucking sucks. Honestly, I mean, it's like the idea of it and everything is fun, but
you need like temperature controlled rooms. Like my dad could only brew during certain times of the year because our basement would be a certain temperature.
Yeah, especially like when you're dealing with yeast, you can't like fuck around with yeast. Like the temperature, like the fermentation temperature, has to be like super fucking precise. Which it's like super easy at Sloop because everything is electronically controlled. Like we can control the temperature of the tanks just on this like little pad. Like, oh, I want it at 68 degrees, and that's it. And it's gonna be at 68 degrees until I change it. But like at home, like unless you're like spending some like serious money, it's not happening.
Right.
Which that sucks. That kind of like sucks the fun out of it because I feel like most homebrewers end up with like really fucked up batches of beer.
Have you homebrewed?
I got all the stuff to do it and just didn't do it because
dude, hit my dad up.
It's just a fucking pain in the
dude
ass.
Hit my dad up. He would probably love for you to come over and just brew fucking beer with him.
But it's just,
and our basement is perfect for it. Did you ever try the beers he made?
I think I had a brown ale. I liked it, and he just fucking hated it.
They're not bad though. Although homebrewing is weird, you know, because you got like the sediment in the bottom of all the bottles you make and stuff.
Nothing's like very pure.
Yeah,
you know? It's very dirty.
Like he would pour it out, and then he would leave like not a quarter, but a little bit in the bottom because it would all be sediment.
All that nasty like hop residue. And
yeah,
shit
you don't
want to
drink
yeast. Yeast is fucking disgusting. I got tricked into drinking yeast once, and it's just. It's fucked up. I don't even want to say what happened, but it's fucked up.
So like, I don't know. Now that you've been, not that you're brewing necessarily, but like, what's your next goal? Is it to get to that brewer status? Is it to try and home brew your own beer and come up with some concoction on your own?
My like goal has always been to become like a brewer. Obviously. I mean, that's just kind of like the end goal. I want to like reach like the I guess like the top of the food chain almost at Sloop. But I've always wanted to just like work for myself and have like my own business, which is like hopefully like my business degree won't go to complete waste. I want to like open my own brewery eventually, but I'm not ready to do that anytime soon. I want to like be able to brew not only because I just like want to be a brewer. It's more so like before you open your own business, you have to like learn like how to use all this equipment. It's just a giant like chemistry set you're working with. Like I wish we could be at the brewery now to show you like all the valves, and it's it makes your head hurt like trying to figure out what valves need to be open when and stuff like that. Yeah, just how to operate everything. It's I need to like really like master that before I
like. For everyone listening or watching, if you are interested in craft beer, like seriously, and I'm sure I don't want to speak for Matt, but I'm sure you can say this too. Like, we encourage you to go check out like your local brewery, because like the equipment and the scale of everything, it truly is amazing. Like right in Danbury, we got Charter Oak right over here. If you're in the Connecticut area, check out Charter Oak. You got Nod Hill and Ridgefield. If you're in New York, check out Sloop. They definitely have an amazing facility, amazing food. Like, but seriously, if you are interested in craft beer, go check out a brewery, because the work and the equipment and everything, like if you've never been to one before, it'll probably amaze you.
Yeah, it's it really is just like a giant chemistry set. It's really like when I first started, it was kind of intimidating because you don't realize like how much goes into it, how gritty the work can be. It can get fucking dirty.
Yeah, I remember when you first started working there, like I don't want to say it was 12-hour days, but I feel like every time I called you, you were like, "Oh, I'm at the brewery, I can't talk. Oh, I'm doing this, I can't talk. Oh, I'm tired as fuck, I can't talk." Like,
yeah, like it's not like things like go like you're operating machines all the time, and machines inevitably will break down. So when things break down, especially during the middle of like a canning run, like you're trying to can like a whole like batch of Juice Bomb, if things break down, you have to fix the problem, which depending on what the problem is, it could take hours, days maybe, and then you still have to go back and finish like your work. One day we like pulled like an overnight shift, because at the beginning of the day, canning line went down, spent like 12 hours working on it, and then like it was midnight and we finally got the canning line up and running. We're like, all right, well,
then you had to can everything.
Yep, let's start. And they weren't like keeping us there against our will, like by any means, but like we volunteered to do it.
Yeah, but that's cool to hear, because like you were just talking about, a couple of minutes ago, being a marketing major and being like, if I do this for the rest of my life, I'm gonna hate my fucking life. And like here you are working 12 extra hours, probably already on a 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
And you're like, I volunteered. Like, fuck it. Like, I'll do this. Like, it truly seems like you enjoy this brewing.
Yeah,
you enjoy the whole thing.
It's a lot of fun. Like, I really am like, I mean, like brewing, the whole industry isn't necessarily like lucrative in terms of like pay. Like you're not retiring anytime soon. But I don't know. I just like being around something you like is just like a lot of fun. And plus like the people you work with like play a role in it too. And like everyone we work with, it's awesome. They're really funny.
You're always sending me snaps and stuff, and you seem like you're having a great time. You guys, what was that thing you did in someone's office or something with? I can't even remember. It was so long ago at this point. There's
a lot of things.
Like cardboard cutout or some shit.
Yeah.
That like just like fucking with each other, pranking each other. Like it seems like you guys are all a family.
Crazy banter. Yeah, like those guys. Like they're not like coworkers. They're like all my friends at this point. So that's like really cool. And I think that like goes for like any place you work at though. Like I'd rather just work with like a bunch of my friends and just have a bunch of coworkers at the end of the day. So
I want to say this before we crack open this last beer, which is a Sloop Pilsner. That sour, best sour I've ever had. What was that again? Tell the people what it was so they could try it if it's around them.
It's called Confliction. It's our dry hop sour ale. It won a gold award at the Great American Beer Festival in 2016.
Dude, that's the best sour I've ever had. I really fucking like that beer.
Awesome. I'm sure everyone would love to hear that.
All right, so let's crack the Pilsner. Tell the people what this is.
This is It's called Sloop Pills. It's pretty much just you're like Miller Lite kind of, but a little cleaner. I think it tastes better. But it's it's just a Pilsner at the end of the day. There's nothing like having a Pilsner after like a long day at work or
On a hot summer day.
yeah, exactly. This is that redneck kind of stuff. This is the shotgunner. You throw these back.
You should shotgun one on camera for the people.
I'd do it. No, it's a little funky right now because it was in that the sour. I kind of taste some of the sour in the IPAs.
A little bit, but yeah, we've been
weird.
using the same glasses, so they're mixing a bit, but you still get it. It's crisp, clean. It's
Crisp,
good
it
beer.
It tastes
Light.
like beer.
Yeah, light.
Yeah.
So, something I definitely want to talk about with you because you really did this. I did it myself, although I got my degree in marketing. I have my own marketing firm now. I started this podcast, so I'm still kind of in the field. Yeah. But with you got, your marketing degree, and then you went and said, fuck this, let's go with Sloop. I want to get back to that because what, really pushed you? Was there some anxiety behind it? Was there some stress behind that risk? Or were you just like, you know what, I might as well go for something that I think I'll be passionate about?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't necessarily too scared or stressed out about it. I was initially because I knew I had just maybe wasted 4 years of my life studying something that I really had no interest now in pursuing. But I knew at the end of the day, I really want to fucking do this. This is gonna make me happy, and I've been happy ever since. I've been there for, I think on Wednesday it'll be a year since I've been at Sloop, and I mean, you have your bad days, but even the bad days are fun because you're around doing stuff you love doing. But yeah, the initial decision, the parents definitely weren't happy about that. They're like, you're doing what now?
Oh, dude, my mom still. When are you gonna get a job? Are you gonna get a real job?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's another thing. Oh yeah, you need to get a real job. I was like, all right, because I'm not wearing a suit and tie. It doesn't mean I don't have a real job.
Right.
But yeah, it was that was the only I guess stress that came from it.
That's a hard thing though. I can say it from personal because when I first told my parents, I mean my dad was very supportive of it. My dad's response when I was I'm gonna try to start doing marketing on my own, his thing was, you're young, you might as well fucking go for it now.
Don't fuck up while you're young. Don't
exactly, and that's something
45.
my dad said. But my mom, it definitely was hard to decide. Let me try and start my own marketing company, and then even with this podcast, because my mom worked her ass off while pregnant with me. She went to law school.
Yeah.
While I was a newborn, she was in law school and working a full-time job. So that woman is the epitome of hard work. She knows what hard work is. So in my mind, it was if I fail at this, my parents worked so hard for me to do well and go to college. But if I fail at this business, and it was a mind game at first. And it took a while to even convince my mom, give me a year or two to just fucking try this.
Yeah.
And how was it with your experience with that?
I guess my dad was supportive of it. He didn't really give a shit. He just wanted me to do what I thought was best for me. But my mom was, when are you gonna get a real job? You can fuck around and do this now, but a couple of years, she's pretty much just worried about me being able to retire and stuff.
Right.
Like
it's weird because it's they're insulting you, but it comes from a place of love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They insult you, but it's it's coming from a place of I want what's best for you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, but I think this is best for me because I used to value making money over anything, and then I realized fuck, this isn't gonna make me happy. I'd rather kind of just get by, but at least not want to kill myself at this place I'm working at every day. Because if I have to go to a place 40 hours a week and be on the verge of killing myself, that's just no way to live. I don't want to
passion over price.
Yeah, I don't want to go to
over price.
Wake up every day and be fuck, I'm going to work again. I wake up every morning all right, I'm going to work again. Let's see what happens today. It's fun. I have genuinely have fun at work every day. So
That's dope to hear.
I'd rather do that than sit on the Metro North for 2 hours, walk down Madison Avenue, and
Smell shit the whole way
yeah,
through New York City.
Yeah, just get like harassed by people.
Have homeless dudes ask for cigs and money.
all the time. Yeah, no, yeah. So I'm way happier
I
doing
mean,
this.
like, dude, I remember I was going to the city for an internship, and it was like 3 weeks in a row because I kept passing every interview. And after the last interview time, they had us in the subway in the beginning of the summer, hot as fuck, in the subway, in a suit, writing a business plan down and then trying to sell random people in the subway on this business plan. And so, which is just a hard thing to do in general because you don't have the product for the business plan to try and sell to these people. So in New York City, why the fuck are they going to give you the time of day? And I remember I was so stressed and just, had a moment of like short-term depression from that while I was walking back to Grand Central to get my train back to Danbury, that I bought a pack of cigarettes and I started smoking the cigarettes, and this homeless dude walks up to me. Hey, give me a cig, man, give me a cig. I was like, you know what, just take the pack. And in that moment, I realized, like, what the fuck am I doing? Working my ass off for this internship when I hate this to the point where it's making me do something that I've never done before.
Yeah.
Like, I smoked cigarettes when I was drunk at the bar or whatever, but I've never bought a pack of cigarettes before.
Sober,
just been like, I
dart.
need to fucking smoke something. Like, that was my moment of clarity. I was like, what the fuck? Like, when, you said before you were writing that paper, were there any other moments of clarity where you were like, this marketing shit is not for this suit shit is not for me?
It also might have been like, maybe New York City is just like, how do I word this? Maybe New York City just like shows people like just fuck New York City. I hate New York City.
Really? See, I love the city. I'd love to live there one day, but it's weird.
Yeah, well,
it's a weird feeling about it.
I used to love it too, and then I started associating it with the commute to school, and then inevitably I thought the commute to work, and that just like sucked like all like the love for the city I had out of it. Yeah, it's just funny that like you realize fuck this shit in New York City, because that's when like I realized fuck all this marketing shit.
Or even not even New York City, but just fuck the suit shit. Like, and I feel like that's something that kids nowadays need to hear, because at least our generation was pushed like college. Oh yeah,
there wasn't a
even blue collar jobs, which you can make right out of the bat. You can make more money than a job with a degree right out the gate.
And no debt.
And with no degree in these blue collar jobs, you can make more money. But even nowadays, like, these blue collar jobs, people don't want to fucking do because they're like, I need that degree.
Yeah, which I think you're gonna start seeing like a switch, like a swing towards more people opting to not go to college and get like these blue collar jobs, because I feel like there's probably a higher demand for work in blue collar jobs, and everyone wants to be a lawyer, everyone wants to be an accountant. How many lawyers?
A finance bro?
Yeah, finance bro told the Rippin' Friday beers.
Wolf of Wall Street ruined people.
Yeah, I feel like eventually like there's gonna reach a point where it's just oversaturated with. There's not enough work for all the amount of people that are, and I feel like that's already like a thing now.
Especially with COVID.
Yeah, but I think you're gonna see like a swing towards like blue collar jobs, because that's like where all the jobs are now. Like,
right.
Yeah, it's crazy, because I remember in high school, there was never a conversation of, oh, are you thinking about college? It was always, oh, so
and not even from your teachers, but your peers. Like, I remember my first school, I left. And when I came home, you actually told me this. You were hanging out with a group of people we went to high school with. And they were, I don't want to say talking shit about me, but they were like, what the hell is he doing leaving his school after one semester? Like, what's he going to do with his life? Blah, blah, blah.
So
and
stupid.
like, it's like
so
that stigma and that thought behind the world we live in today is almost, ruining kids in a sense, because they have all this pressure. It's taking away the opening for people to find a passion in what they love, which is why it's refreshing to hear someone like you be like, I said fuck my degree and I went and found something that I love, and I'm doing that now.
Yeah, I wish like 18-year-old Matt knew that he was into craft beer senior year of high school, because I would have maybe, if I even went to school, I would have like gone like the biology route or something maybe. But you don't know you're into fucking craft beer at 18 years old.
That's the hardest part about it, is when you're so young, you have all these influences, your parents, the media,
Yeah.
peers, where it's like college.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like people have told us this before, like, but we didn't listen when we were in high school. Say like, I'll just like don't rush anything, like just do what you love and shit. But I remember like, fuck that. I'm just gonna go like find a career that makes me the most fucking money possible. But
When
like,
in reality, now that we're older, we're like,
I should have really listened to that guy.
yeah, money's helpful, but let's find something we love. Because if
Yeah.
you can find something you love to make money off of,
Yeah.
that's
That's a win.
a win
It's an
all
ultimate
day.
win.
And
Yeah.
that's, that's kind of for everyone listening, that's kind of a goal of this podcast, to bring these people on who are creatives and do what they love, because we want to show people that you can do what you love, be happy, and be successful.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Just be happy at the end of the day.
yeah,
I'm with it. Be happy.
I think that's a great place to wrap this podcast
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
up. Why don't you plug, where the people can find you and the brewery you work for? Why don't you tell us where we can find all that?
You can follow Sloop Brewing Company. Probably, I don't know what their handle is, but it's Sloop something. It'll probably pop up when you search it
on
up.
Instagram, just type in Sloop Brewing.
Sloop. You can follow me at @_add to cart, because Matthew Stewart was taken, so that was like the next best option. But yeah, don't follow me because I don't post anything. Yeah, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
That's it. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing the beers. Again, shout out Sloop Brewing. Thank you for making amazing beers.
Awesome.
Giving my boy an amazing job that he loves.
Oh,
We
yeah.
appreciate that. Go check out their food. Go check out their beer. And yeah, thanks for listening, guys. You can find us on YouTube if you want to watch the video at Planet Creative Podcast, and then follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Planet Creative Podcast. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time.